Alright boys, I'm back, and WWE once again has proved why they are the most reliable company at letting their fans down. This has to be one of the saddest Mania seasons in a long time, and I'm not even upset about it, because it was all expected. Everything is bad under Triple H. This was all part of the plan. I had no expectations or hopes for this Mania, and somehow I was still let down. Their consistency is unmatched, consistently bad. So what happened? Way too much for a single Mania build, while at the same time, nothing really happening. So let's start from ground zero and talk about a few notable events that have ruined this WrestleMania. Randy Orton's mystery partner was finally revealed, and it is the one and only Pat McAfee. What were they thinking? Pat McAfee, of all people? You went with Pat McAfee for WrestleMania? This has to be the last nail on this Mania's coffin. This was a desperate Hail Mary from the WWE to save the show, and they still messed it up. I had no expectations for Randy Orton's mystery partner, because it is the WWE under Triple H. The payoff is always bad. But really, Pat McAfee?
Why?
What is the reason behind this? What was the brain trust over at Titan Towers thinking? Did they really believe fans would enjoy this? Why? This is not
Logical.
This doesn't make any sense. This is so random.
This is bad comedy.
But okay, Pat McAfee was revealed as the mystery partner of Randy Orton. And during that time, a lot of fans were speculating on who could it be. I saw a handful of names being flown around of who the mystery partner could have been. One of them being Ted DiBiase Jr. But even that would have been a weak choice because nobody cares about Ted Jr. But Pat McAfee, this guy's a commentator. He's not a wrestler. He has no connection to Randy. I don't think they ever interacted with each other in any other storyline until this point. Are you really telling me WWE couldn't get anybody else? Not even a wrestler at least? Nobody answered the phone for WWE? We had to go with Pat. And nothing against Pat. He is just doing what he's told. The only person to blame for this mess and the failures of this year's WrestleMania is of course the one and only Triple H. The head of creative, after the reveal of Pat, reports immediately came out stating that Triple H had nothing to do with this, and that it was Ari Emanuel who forced Triple H to put Pat into this Mania feud. And you might be wondering, who is Ari Emanuel? He is the CEO of TKO. He is the boss. He is the man on top of the totem pole, and he is also Triple H's boss. So the story that we are being fed is that Ari stepped in and forced Pat into this storyline. And I don't believe that. I don't believe for a second that Triple H had nothing to do with this, and that it was all Ari Emanuel, someone that we have never seen and has never been mentioned before. This screams Triple H, not only because it's brain dead, but it also makes no sense. Triple H has proven time after time that his calls are always that idiotic, so I don't believe these reports for a second, because not only did they come out on the day of the reveal, but now they are also being brought up on TV. This smells fishy. This smells pre-planned. This smells like damage control. And I have examples. Do you remember all the way back at WrestlePalooza? I don't blame you if you don't. It was a very bad show. But our man of the hour made his glorious return to the WWE. And during his entrance, you saw Triple H, the head of creative, the man in charge of storylines, run after Pat McAfee like a little schoolgirl. It was embarrassing. A grown-ass man running after another grown-ass man. You could smell and see the desperate need of Triple H to get acknowledged by Pat McAfee. And now all these reports are telling us that Triple H had nothing to do with this, and that it was all Ari Emanuel. Absolutely not. This is an inside job to control the narrative and to take heat off Triple H by pointing the finger to some unknown faceless individual. But let's go back to Pat and see his explanation of why he did this. During his promo, he said that he disliked the way that the WWE has been going, and that real fans, Attitude Era fans, are being forgotten and left behind, and that he is sick and tired of it and wants to stop it by going after Cody, because in his eyes, Cody is everything wrong with a new WWE. And okay, whatever, not the best reason, but at least they gave us a reason. My question to this is, why is Pat the one saying this? He's not a wrestler, so why is it Pat? Why didn't they give this storyline to someone that has been with the company for a long time, or a wrestler from the Attitude Era? So this argument could make some sense. Why is it Pat? That is the million-dollar question. Out of all of the people you could have picked for this storyline, why is it Pat McAfee? Nobody cares that Pat turned heel. Sure, whatever. But why this storyline? That's my issue. I don't care that Pat is back, but why is it Pat? Why was he the right person for this storyline? Why was he picked? What is the reason? And don't tell me Pat McAfee is a big name. He can help ticket sales. That never works. Nobody's going to spend hundreds of dollars to go to WrestleMania for Pat. So why was he picked? I know the business reason and why Triple H picked him, but what is the kayfabe reason? Because nothing about Pat's wrestling character hinted to this. He wasn't even on TV at this point. This is the first time in a long time that we have seen him. And now all of a sudden he has an issue with the WWE, even though he never brought that up before. It just doesn't make any sense. And that is what fans are tired of. Things not making sense. Things just happen with no rhyme or reason. But it doesn't end there. Because this moment was so bad and everyone disliked it that they had to run damage control. So there is two other promos, Cody's promo on the same SmackDown and Punk's promo on Raw. So let's start with Cody. And before I even get to the promo, reports immediately came out saying that Cody's promo was a shoot. Sure, buddy, whatever you say. Just like the pipe bomb, right? Definitely a shoot. Not planned at all. Nobody knew what was happening. Yeah, whatever you say. But Cody's promo did not hit. He said a bunch of different things in his promo, but let's focus on one aspect for now. He called out Ari, his boss. So he was going against the machine. And that does not work for Cody, because Cody is the machine. Cody Rhodes has been built, designed, and taught by the machine. Everything about Cody Rhodes and his wrestling character is corporate. Cody Rhodes' wrestling character has been designed in a boardroom by suits and ties to be the safest, most inoffensive, safe to consume, mass market wrestler out there. Cody Rhodes is what shareholders believe a wrestler should be. Someone safe that they can put out there to always say the right things. And that is the reason of why this promo does not work for Cody. Because Cody is TKO. He is the machine. So for him to come out there and complain about his boss screwing him over is ridiculous. But it doesn't end there, because Punk was also sent out on Raw to defend the honor of his queen, the WWE. He cut a promo on Pat McAfee. He did focus on a different aspect though. They both brought up the agent, who just happens to be their boss, but Punk focused on ticket prices and told his boss to drop the prices so fans can actually afford to go to these shows. And while Punk is better at cutting promos, this also felt off, because TKO is WWE and WWE is TKO. So for WWE to have wrestlers call out TKO on TV and tell them to drop the prices, it's just for cheap pops. Everything that we heard this week are our arguments being said back to us. Everything they brought up are things fans are complaining about. Pat brought up the fact that all fans are being left out. Cody Rhodes brought up the lackluster reveal and the financial reasons behind this decision due to the low ticket sales. And even during his promo, when he was talking about how bad this was, he still had to shill for the WWE and say that the product is the hottest it has ever been, which got no reaction from the crowd because everybody knows that was straight up bullshit. And Punk brought up the ticket prices. So the three arguments were fans are feeling left out, their product is not doing so hot right now, and the ticket prices are outrageous. And before we discuss this further, I have to say one thing. This is some meta commentary and I hate it. WWE loves doing this meta shit and using insider terms on TV like it's normal. They talk like fans do online, and it's not a good look because you're the WWE, not a fan online talking about wrestling. But let's get back to the topic. Every argument that Cody, Punk, and Pat brought up are things that fans are complaining about. This is a way for the WWE to repeat our arguments back to us so we can feel like they are listening to us and are planning to change. And reports have come out that they are looking into lowering ticket prices, but my question to that is, how much will the prices go down? Are they actually gonna go down, or are they gonna be returned back to the same level levels they were. Because if they just dropped the prices back to the same levels they were before they raised them, they never really dropped the prices. They just returned them back to the levels they were. So what is it gonna be? Are they really gonna drop prices, or are they gonna return them back to what they were? And forgive me for being such a cynic about this, but this isn't the first time WWE has done something like this, where they say they hear us and that they are planning to change. This has happened before. Do you remember all the way back to 2018? WWE was in a very similar situation. Low viewership and fans being angry. So what did they do? They brought out the whole McMahon family and they told us that they are listening to us, that they hear us, and that things will change and get better. And to no one's surprise, that didn't happen. So forgive me if I am not buying what they are selling. At the end of the day, I had no expectations and somehow I was still let down. But the disappointments don't end there. We have a lot more to discuss when it comes to the build of this year's Mania. Let's talk about John Cena. Because ticket sales are underground, WWE had to do something desperate. So they are bringing back John Cena as the host of Mania. You remember John Cena, right? The guy who just retired a few months back? Well, he's back already. Are you guys excited? What do you mean no? We did this for you. Now buy our overpriced garbage. This is a bad move. It's way too early to bring back John Cena. He just left. Fans do not miss him enough that they are willing to go out there and spend hundreds of dollars for this year's WrestleMania. This will do nothing for ticket sales because the horse itself admitted it and confirmed that ticket sales are low. WWE has dropped the max occupancy for the stadium since
Nobody,
and I mean
nobody
wants to go to this show. They had to drop how many fans can be held in this stadium, and that is so sad, but at the same time it is exactly what they deserve. And this is a great moment for me to get onto my high horse because I called it from day one. I have been providing undisputed, extremely reasonable evidence that Triple H and Stardust are hacks and fools that will destroy the WWE. And once again, I have been proven correct. Triple H is so bad at his job that he can't even sell Mania. Imagine how bad you have to be for fans not wanting to show up to WrestleMania of all shows. This isn't a random pay-per-view that nobody cares about. This is WrestleMania, the biggest show of the year. And this big-nosed moron fucked up so badly that he can't even sell tickets. This is what happens when you allow an untalented, uncharismatic, uncreative doofus son-in-law to take over creative for a multi-million-dollar company. But not to break my own hand jerking off, I was also right about Stardust being the worst main eventer of all time. Stardust was born to be a jobber, but because the planets aligned and an idiot was in charge, he was pushed to be the face of this company, and now they can't even sell out their biggest show of the year. And I am not happy about the fact that I was right since day one, but I am happy to point it out. And since we are already talking smack, we might as well continue and go over the card for WrestleMania 42, the worst Mania in a long time. And I know the show hasn't happened yet, but I'm pretty sure my prediction is gonna be spot on. So let's quickly go over the WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2 cards and see if there's any heat to this show. We have the Usos and LA Knight versus The Vision and ISHO Speed. Why is this a WrestleMania match? Why the hell are we seeing The Vision at WrestleMania? The Vision is not even a full team anymore. Everybody is injured. They have no one. They have lost all their stars and their biggest players. But for some reason, The Vision is still on WrestleMania. After that, we have Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu. And Drew McIntyre has been done dirty, as you all know, from that awful decision of when they decided to take the belt off him. And now they are putting him in this throwaway match against Jacob Fatu. But it doesn't end there because we also have Lash Legend and Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair versus Bayley, and Lyra versus the Bella Twins. This is a match designed to get as many people as possible on the card so they can promote it as they have a lot of stars on the show. But this match doesn't make any sense. There's no feud, there's no storyline. They just started brawling a few weeks back, and now they are given a WrestleMania match. Next, we have AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch, and these two have wrestled already. We have seen this match. Their promos are garbage. Their in-ring style is terrible. They both can't wrestle to save their lives. This is probably gonna be the worst match of the night. Then we have Rollins versus Gunther. You already know how I feel about Gunther, the worst wrestler to ever exist, so this match is already gonna be the shits. Then we have Stephanie McMahon versus Liv Morgan. This match might be something, probably could do something with it, but the feud is still weak, and we are only, what, a few days away from WrestleMania, so nothing will be added to this match. Might be good in the ring, but overall, as a story, is gonna be shit. And then we have the night one main event, Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. And once again, this is a perfect time for me to get onto my high horse. For WrestleMania straight, Cody Rhodes has been the main event. And now, WrestleMania has suffered so much that this guy has been
Demotion.
to night one. This should tell you everything you need to know about how good of a main eventer Cody Rhodes is. He is a jobber that got lucky, and he is bringing down Randy Orton due to his failures of not being able to carry this company. John Cena put it best:
Step up or step aside.
now let's move on to night 2, the only night of WrestleMania that actually matters. So we have Penta, Dragon Lee, Javon Evans, Rey Mysterio, Rusev, and JD McDonough. This could be a fun ladder match, but again, the rivalry and storyline is non-existent, so it will suffer. Then we have Brock Lesnar and Obafemi, the most hyped up match for this year's Mania. Hopefully it will be good, but we all know how Brock Lesnar wrestles these days. It's just suplex after suplex, and if it is that, it's gonna be a very boring match. But hopefully Oba can work some magic and get some more things out of Brock Lesnar than just suplex after suplex. Then we have Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams. Anytime you have Sami Zayn, of all people, on your card, it's over. You admitted defeat. And this is WrestleMania night 2, and you have Sami Zayn on the show, it's over. It's proven fact now that this year's Mania is dead. They have Sami Zayn on the card. Next, we have Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. This match will most likely be a train wreck. After that, we have Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. It could be a good match. It will most likely be fun in the ring, but once again, why did they take the belt away from Dominic? There's nothing on the line for this match now. They should have had the belt on Dominic and had Dominic versus Finn Balor for the Intercontinental title. And then we move on to the last main event. We have CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. And the issue with this match is that both of these guys are old and cannot wrestle as well as they did. We all know that CM Punk gets gassed out immediately, and Roman Reigns has taken so much time off and hasn't wrestled in months. Who knows in what type of ring shape he is. So this match will most likely be very slow and very methodical in a bad way. And that's it. Those are all the matches for WrestleMania 42. Are you hyped yet? No? Of course not. There's nothing here. There's no juice here. This is a very boring WrestleMania. And this WrestleMania season has to be the worst in a long time. But nobody wants to finish off on a downer. So just for fun, let's take a quick look over at AEW land and see what they are doing. There is no way AEW has done something during WrestleMania season that has blown WWE out. If that has happened, it's over. WWE should hang it up if AEW can provide better moments than the WWE during WrestleMania season. So let's just see what the competition is doing. Probably nothing, but you never know. So let me have it. What are you up to, AEW?